Well, I met Jamie in like mainly we became mates in music, like music class, and like yeah, I think got a good first impression of Jamie because he liked The View, and if that's kind of like for me at that time that was enough like that you could judge someone's character on if they liked The View or not. So yeah, and Dylan, I met Dylan like maybe a couple of years after Jamie, just because we were playing in a band together, and we asked Dylan like, me and one of my other mates asked Dylan to play bass, and yeah, I just thought he was a cool guy. Thought he dressed well.
Funnily enough, Prentice, added on to that, he actually introduced me to the Strokes. So he showed me, it was hard to explain by the Strokes, and I was like 16, and I was like, wow, this is life changing. Then, funnily enough, we saw them when we were 18.
Yeah, like
in London at Hyde Park. But yeah, it's just music, I guess. We just kind of gravitated towards
I
each
think
other.
we had like pretty good first impressions of each other.
Yeah.
Like we hate each other now,
Yeah.
but like we at the
Yeah,
time
so
it was good. I'm joking.
That was good, yeah.
Singing sweet Caroline, diamonds in her eyes, trying to remember the tune.
That was definitely after school, I think, and it was before Vistas were like an actual band. It was more when we were all in sort of separate bands. Like I was in a band with Jamie, and as I say, I was in a different band with Dylan. And I think after that point, we kind of knew that the songs were getting a bit better, so we needed to we were like, right, we might have something here, so we need to kind of take it a bit more seriously. And I think after that point, but that was like maybe like a year after we left school and stuff. So yeah, probably about then. I think it was like end of 2016. Like started to write some songs that were actually okay, and then yeah, that's where Vistas kind of stemmed from. Yeah, class. I mean, it was like unreal. I mean, we were pretty nervous, as you can probably guess, like before we went on. But it feels completely natural when you actually get on stage. But then when you come off stage, you're like, did that actually just happen? Because it's one of those things that's like, you always think about playing like massive shows in front of like 10,000 people or whatever, and then to actually see that many people all watching you do something on stage is pretty surreal. So when we came off stage, we were just like, that was just mad. Like it's one of those things that you can't actually. You need like a day or two before you can look back on it and be like, wow, that was like such a good gig. So yeah, it was class though. Really
whenever
good.
anyone asks, I always say it was the day after when I was sat in my living room just watching daytime TV, and I kind of thought, what the hell happened yesterday? It is just mad, because before that we'd played a couple of like big shows, maybe 1,000 people, but to times that by 10,000 people is ridiculous. But yeah, it was amazing, and Jerry Cinnamon he was class as well.
Yeah,
so,
yeah, that was class. I think it comes down a lot to the fact that the songs themselves are just pretty high energy, so that translates quite well into a recording format. Just because the music that we all like and the music that we all grew up with and were heavily influenced by is very high energy, so that kind of just filters into the music we write anyway. So it's quite a seamless transition. It's not like we're sitting in the studio and we're like, how do we make this more high energy? I guess we're quite fortunate in the sense that it kind of seems to just happen just because that's the type of music that we quite like. It totally varies, man, just depending on the song itself. Like, I mean, some songs you'll kind of like Hold Me, for example, like one of the songs we put out in 2017. That was like, that just seemed to just happen just in a moment. Like the chorus happened really easily, and then everything else just kind of happened, and it was a full song quite quickly. But in retrospect, although it's a really simple song, there was like a lot of time spent going back and forth, thinking like, does this sound right? Could this sound a bit better? So I guess it just varies. I think what usually happens is the main idea of the song, the thing that makes it good, will happen quite naturally. And I think if you have to tinker with that a lot, you can sort of tell that it's not really going to be like a good song. So I think like with Retrospect, for example, like the chorus came pretty easily and the riff came pretty easily, and it was just the other parts that we needed to tinker with. So that's why we knew it would be a good song, because we had the good bit of it just there, like ready to go. So yeah.
Because I remember not too long ago we listened to the original demo,
Of Retrospect. Yeah.
And it was a lot slower, and the lyrics were a lot different, and yeah, it didn't seem right.
It had like something, but it wasn't just quite at where it is
100%,
now.
yeah.
So yeah, like it just varies, man. Yeah. I think with something like that, it's like something that we talk about like quite a lot amongst each other. So that kind of just filtered into when I was writing that song, and writing those lyrics. But yeah, I think a lot of our songs are influenced by experiences that we've had, like with our friends and like things with our family and things with each other as well. Like Fade, for example, is about kind of being out on tour for like a long period of time and things like that. So, people always say like write about what you know, and I think that is what can make a song quite heartfelt and a bit like have a sort of real emotion to it. I think, because you have actually experienced it. So yeah. I think it does filter in obviously, but I'm not necessarily on the lookout for it as in like I want to write a song about that, because I mean I've not written a song about Donald Trump, and I would have if I was looking out for things to write about, you know what I mean? So yeah. I think when you start focusing on things like that too much, you kind of can lose the essence of why you're actually doing it, which is really to play music to fans. That's kind of the main reason that we do it. I mean, it's great to be included in those sort of things, but you do have to kind of take a step back, and they're not the be-all and end-all of being in a band. It does add a certain level of pressure, which I think just kind of makes you try a little bit harder to make your songs the best that they can be and to make your live show the best that it can be. And I think it's like, I wouldn't necessarily call it pressure in a bad sense. It's more just like, it more just pushes you to be the best band that you're able to be. So it's like a good thing. It's a good thing in many ways, yeah, for sure.
It was funny because before we got added to all these playlists, I don't know about yourself, Prentice, but I never thought about playlists, and I just thought,
yeah,
I'm not too sure what my mindset was, but it wasn't to do with Spotify, Apple Music. I know that sounds a bit daft now, 2 years on, but just everyone's trying to get on all these playlists. But once we got added to it, we had no idea that we were on it. It was somebody tweeted us saying, love you guys," and we had no idea who it was, and we found out it was because of like this playlist called Hot New Bands, the indie list, and we were just like, oh wow, that's amazing. And like it still is amazing getting on all these playlists, but yeah, I'm not too sure, because
I mean, it's a massive thing for young bands now, and upcoming bands, because it gives them a platform where their music can be reached by so many different people, that it wouldn't have been able to be accessed by before. So yeah, like it is incredibly important now, like Spotify, and we're just very grateful that we have support at Spotify, and like we wouldn't really be where we are without that support, because it lets people hear our music from every stretch of the country and abroad as well. Yeah. So yeah, it's a brilliant thing, yeah, for sure, man.
Yeah, I mean, it's probably like the last kind of few years, it's probably been like the biggest thing that's kind of changed music, like in the same way that iTunes did.
Oh, absolutely, yeah, 100%. The streaming revolution, as people call it, has been like one of the biggest things that's happened to music in the past, like couple of years, as you say.
It does have pros and cons, but for us who are like 22 years old, it's heavily pro, because, as you said, people from like Brazil all the way to Japan tweet us saying, please come to Brazil, but we were like, we'd love to, but we don't know how many people would actually turn up. But yeah, it's just it's a new way to get yourself in front of all these audiences, and as I said, we've actually met a couple of people from Spotify, and like they're just the most like amazing people, because they're so into it. Like if it wasn't for them, I suppose like we wouldn't.
Yeah, a bunch of bands that are now doing stuff wouldn't be around like without Spotify. Yeah, for sure.
Holding up, holding on for the right, screaming, oh my God, looking to the skies, wanna feel, wanna love, wanna recognize.
I was just thinking this the other day. There was like 20, 30 years ago, there was like loads of Scottish bands like Orange Juice and Aztec Camera and like things like that, which were like coming up and doing like all these cool indie label things. And it's almost like now with, as you say, like Ninth Wave, Dunce, like it's nuts, like loads of bands, St. Martin's, like tons of Scottish bands now are kind of coming up and making their way further down south, and it's quite cool that I don't want to call it like a Scottish revolution, but you know what I mean, like is kind of happening again, which I think is really great. Like, because there's so much good music in Scotland, so why shouldn't it get the recognition it deserves?
I know with Scottish people, like, they love getting behind the new Scottish
Yeah.
band. So
For sure, it's a very supportive like group of people as well. So yeah, absolutely.
a lot of variation as well, because like you got like ourselves, but then you got like the Sluts, then the Ninth Wave, the Dunts. It's like so many different types of bands. But yeah, it's really good.
Albums, obviously a big one, man. Yeah. But yeah, we'll just cross that bridge when we come to it. Like, obviously, there's a bunch of festivals we'd love to play, like Glastonbury, and like we'd love to go abroad as well. Like, I mean, Japan's like a big one we've always wanted to do. So yeah, I mean, it's just like they're pretty like normal goals, but we're like really pleased with how it's going so far. So we kind of like to live in the present and then plan for the future and just let it happen. Hopefully, you know what I mean?
Yeah, 100%.
Well, we're going on tour with Circle Waves in April. Then we're doing our first headline tour in May. We're playing like a big gig in Glasgow at St Luke's on the 31st of May. And yeah, we've got 2 new songs to like sort of which rounds off our EP, and that'll come out in one of them's coming out quite soon, like next couple of weeks, and then the next one will follow shortly after. So yeah, a bunch of new music, and we're playing like basically if you want to come and see us, we're basically playing everywhere. So yeah, and then festivals in the summer, I think. Yeah. And then I don't know whatever the rest of the year has in store, but I'm sure we'll be playing a bunch of places as well, man.
Fade away.